Your Excellencies, moderators, dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming from Estonia, Eastern Europe. I'm Archbishop of Estonian Evangelical Lutheran Church, but I'm also the Vice President for Lutheran World Federation Eastern Central region. And the Lutheran World Federation is a global communion of 149 member churches with over 75.5 million members in 99 countries. And on behalf of Lutheran World Federation, I would like to thank you for your kind invitation to us to share our perspective on the role of religion in strengthening spiritual and moral values in the modern world. We live in a modern world that is constantly changing. We have listened to our member churches around the world. The concerns they have highlighted correspondence to our own analysis at the global level. Just allow me to share a list of critical social, political, economical, and environmental shifts impacting people in the global context today. I believe many of us here can identify with. They are the rise of religious nationalism and populism, the effects of climate change, the mass displacement of people, growing inequalities, the growing contempt for and violations of human rights, the shrinking of democratic and civic space, and the negative impact of social media and the spread of misinformation. The list seems to be growing each day, challenging religious communities to dig deep into the wells of our spiritual, theological, and ethical resources to respond adequately. The COVID-19 pandemic, which shook the world in 2020, has further revealed the weakness and vulnerability of public health and economic system globally, and exacerbated existing challenges. The last 2 years will be remembered for the devastating impact of global health pandemic of people and communities all over the world. Sadly, with the war in Ukraine that lingers on with continuous global implications, we do not seem to have a moment to rest, to even recuperate. We also share in our Lutheran family the collective experience of anxiety, uncertainty, and suffering with our neighbors within the wider society. We are living through a time where the interconnection between the personal and the public is clearly revealed in public health measures, concerns over psychological well-being of citizens, dissemination of accurate information in media spaces, and addressing misleading ideologies and harmful public rhetorics. Let me highlight 3 values that need to be strengthened among our members and would also resonate with friends and neighbors of different religious traditions and life stances. The first, we affirm that all human beings are created in God's image. But in reality, this image seems to be broken and distorted. This means we must have a look at our human conditions with courage and clarity to confront our sinfulness while affirming our responsibility to fulfill God's will. Religious communities must not claim a superior position in the public discourse in the sense of supposedly having holy authority. Rather, as people of faith, we recognize that humility is an important virtue in a world that often takes pride in being able to dominate. Genuine humility is expressed not by pious words, but rather takes courage to look at ourselves in the mirror with clarity, confess and repent our wrongdoings, and be ready to ready to repair whatever damage we may have inflicted on others. The second, during the pandemic and even now, we continue to hear about the mental and psychological challenges that people are confronting on a daily basis. Some are further traumatized by conflict and war. In our interaction with other faith actors and WHO staff in the World Health Organization Faith Network, we have seen at a global level how important religious communities have been in addressing the pastoral needs of people who have lost their loved ones, as well as coping with various impacts to the pandemic. Thank you. And also patience is needed and persistence in dealing with vaccine hesitancy, as well as advocating for vaccine equity so that no one is left behind, particularly in countries who do not have the capacity to get the vaccines they need to their protection. And the third, the question, who is my neighbor? The concern for a neighbor is one that resonates with different religions and other ethical, non-religious convictions. During World Refugee Day in June this year, the Lutheran World Federation collaborated with our Jewish and Muslim partners in an international conference in Geneva entitled Welcoming the Stranger, Living as Neighbors, Shaping the Future.